week we have got a huge show in store for you. Welcome to you, Hutch.
Thanks, Becca. Good evening, everyone. Massive night in news too tonight as we get down to business. The young star of the competition being wooed by a rival club. Big money. Damien Barrett has the details on that a little bit later on tonight. The latest on the Tiger captaincy, which has gone on forever. And, of course, David Koch talks tough and raises the stakes on the Port Adelaide Football Club. Plus, it's back. Controversial week one last week. It's got another gig, Becca. Open mouth. Not you this week. You're off the hook. But it's back a little bit later on in the show.
And have a look at this. This is our team like you have never seen us before. We go bush, oh dear, on a pre-season bonding trip. That is must-see TV. Stories
everywhere from the Premiers, the Western Bulldogs. Tonight, Shane Crawford recounts one of the most dramatic moments on Grand Final Day.
We'll also introduce you to the big names of the future. These are our draftees. Can't wait to meet those wonderful young men. But before we get to all of that, we need a panel, don't we? And have we got one in store for you tonight? He's my absolute favourite along with the other two. Please put your hands together for Max Gawn, Mav Weller, and for the first time this season, Dave Hughes.
Up and about the crowd. Great to have the panel here. We're going to get to them very soon. But time, as always, to introduce the man of the Footy Show. 1 week in, one front page controversy behind us, and away we go again. He is a champion of the game, 300 games. He's a legend of television over 40 years. The most watched and watchable person on the small screen. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for John Sammy Newman.
Tony Lockett.
Sam, get in tune with the crowd, please, can you?
I couldn't even hear the music, so that's much rehearsal we did. In fact, I don't think this is working.
Who are you, by the way? Are you Dr. Jeffrey Edelson or Don Scott, or what are you trying to
I'm
do?
Plugger, and I tell you why I've dressed as Plugger. I am a huge, and always have been a huge advocate and fan of Tony's. I've backed him through thick and thin, watched him down at Linton Street, watched him have his name inserted on one of the ends at the Etihad Stadium, and I've been a great supporter of him, and I'm behind him 100%.
Well, of course, the news, by the way, for those who are not across it, Tony Lockett back after 15 years at the Sydney Footy Club.
Can't sit down. The suit is so tight.
Can you sit down in those pants?
Becca, good God, woman, I don't care if this is politically. You look hot. Oh, you look
hot.
And Craig, you look like
hot.
Craig.
Looks magnificent tonight.
You look hot, thank you.
You're not a bit... I know the suit's a bit tight there, so sit down and rest. Sit down with your romper stomper haircut there and rest for a minute. You're not as big a fan as Tony Lockett as you're saying.
How would you know, Craig?
You and he go way back.
You weren't even around when he started.
You go way back. Let's have a look at this. What is this?
This is me new rug, mate. Yeah. Remember that bloody pig? Remember that?
I stuffed it. It's only a joke, Plugger, if you're watching. Tony Lockett.
G'day, mate. How are you? Sit down there.
Tell you what, though, they will not be put. There'll be no more pigs on the SCG with Plugger. If you have a look at him now and how thin he's got, unbelievable. Have a look at Plugger. But they've already organised another animal to put out there for him, so let's have a look at that. There's another animal going to be out there, I believe. There we go. Misspelled. Now, he looks good, Plug. Apparently he's off the sugar, I've heard. Mav, you've heard that, haven't you?
On the paleo.
He's on the paleo.
Paleo.
Paleo. Caveman diet.
And of course, you're going to be doing some
Wonder I haven't heard of it.
doing some goal kicking, of course, with the forwards. And why wouldn't you have
Exactly.
the greatest goal kicker of all time? And some accuracy will be among those things he's coaching. Have a look at that from back in the day, Sam.
Yeah.
One of the most vindictive things we've seen at the SCG in a long time.
Drilled it into a person shouting invective at him. Could have killed 8 or 9 in the crowd. It's one thing, of course, to be a great footballer, Becca, but the other thing, of course, is to be able to get it across to your charges, to the people you're tutoring. Do you think...
Teacher.
Well
the
done,
teacher.
Becca, a teacher. Do you think he'll be able to... He'll be able to impart that?
I'm not quite sure, do you?
Is he articulate? He always seemed to be articulate and verbose.
I reckon it's great for footy that he's back. He's one of the icons of the game.
is.
He was lost on football for so many years, and I reckon it's just absolutely sensational that he can play a role in the Swans and in football's in both.
Maybe we should have gone to the Saints. So to bring in Mav Weller. Mav, welcome to you. I've been watching your face for the last 5 minutes at the start of the show, and Mav's like, what on earth am I doing here? Who are these people? Welcome to the Footy Show, your first time. Great to have you, Mav. Mav, want to launch straight into your career because it has been a really interesting one. You went to the Suns first and foremost when you were drafted, then you're actually delisted at the end of 2013. It's been a bit of a rocky road, but you ended up at the Saints. They picked you up, and it's looking pretty good at the Saints this year, isn't it? You had a great year last year. Is there a different feeling at the Saints this year?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely a bit of excitement around the club. I think for the first time since I've been there, we've got a whole list really that can come in and play a role for the club, which is really exciting. And it's going to be helpful come the season to pick from and hopefully win some games of footy.
Definitely. Look at Sam. Actually, it's the first time I've seen your hair, Sam, honestly. That's, it reminds me of when I had my vasectomy, I had to shave as well, so... and it's a very similar look, to be honest. Now, back to your membership. It's going well, I believe. You've done a membership drive, though, yeah. So did you get involved in the karaoke session?
I didn't. I got the extra couple of weeks off this year, so I missed out, luckily.
Yeah, so a lot of the St Kilda players, the younger ones, basically had to sing for their supper to try to get members involved. Let's have a look at how some of it went.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit.
I'm embarrassed for him.
You're embarrassed. Luke Donson was looking at the other guy like he was making a dick of himself, wasn't he?
Future.
Now imagine being... I mean...
Nothing wrong with a bit of karaoke.
No, there's nothing wrong with some karaoke. Maybe in another country, though, yeah, Hutchie? You in New York? Watch this.
No.
Now I'm falling asleep, and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke, and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed, and my stomach is sick, but it's all in my head, but she's touching it.
I'll give you points for giving it a crack.
It doesn't matter how bad you are at karaoke, you just got to own the song.
Did you get your hat back?
Own the song.
Did you get your hat back?
No, I didn't get the hat back.
No.
Not the only time I've done that, by the way. What's your go-to karaoke song, Max? You got one?
Probably not. I'm more of a dancer. I'm more of a Macarena Nutbush type person.
A nutbush?
Yeah. No, I don't have a great voice. I would be getting into it a lot more than... who was the guy at the back? Was that Blake Acres?
Blake Acres,
Yeah, I would be getting into it a little more than he was.
Can I just... rehearsed for 5 hours his song, couldn't get one lyric right. That came up on the spur of the moment. Max nailed it.
I couldn't hear. Maverick, is that a... no, I asked this. Is that a stage... Is that your stage name, Maverick, or is it a proper name?
It's my real name.
Because I'm John, really, but they call me Sam. Is Maverick... Someone thought, call yourself Maverick, because that'll be great for the season. People...
Nah, I wish it was. Nah,
it's Maverick,
is
it?
Name, so, yeah.
Were you named after the character on Top Gun?
I was, yes.
You were, yeah. And have you got you've got a tattoo on your arm?
No, I don't.
You used to, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to.
So you've got rid of it. It's coming off.
It's gone. It was one of those 6-month ones that rubbed off in the shower.
Now, something you haven't got rid of is your love of meditation and yoga, which may seem a bit unusual to people, but it's not that unusual. Max, I'll get to your thoughts on that in a minute. But there we go, in your lounge room there with all your candles. How long have you been doing it for, and why do you do it, and when do you do it?
Yeah, I've been doing it for 4 years, really, since I finished up at the Gold Coast. It was just a way that I dealt with anxiety and stuff before a game, and that's funny, is it?
You know, I love the fun of it.
Yeah, and dealt with, you know, being able to prepare for the game and that sort of stuff, and it sort of gets me in the mood.
So when you do it, is it visualisation? Do you see yourself playing the best game possible? Or do you see teammates?
Just prepare for the game.
What do you actually see?
Yep. Yeah, prepare for the game. When I first came to St Kilda, I started off as a tagger and I'd visualise certain scenarios in the game and that sort of stuff.
And it works for you, doesn't it? I mean, it's great. And good on you for doing it, absolutely. Sam, I believe that you've thought about it, is that right?
I haven't thought that deeply.
No, but you've had issues on the golf course.
I remember meditating once before a game, thinking of Elle Macpherson, but nothing as deep as that.
I'll have to try that one.
I read that you were. I read over the summer that you were so frustrated with your putting because you have a lot of. You can't putt, right? Can we call that for what it is?
Yeah,
the massive yips.
That you took on.
Thank you, Becca.
The yips is a good description, Becca. That you've taken on a visualisation coach about putting. You couldn't take it that seriously, could you?
Well,
It's the only thing he does, Craig, is play golf.
I try to visualise putting, but of course, putting has got nothing to do with golf. If you think about it, nothing to do at all with golf.
So can I ask you...
It involves a golf ball.
No, but... Dave, I've got a feeling you're well out of your depth if we're talking about golf. Do you play?
I have hacked around. I mean, you're not a professional.
My point exactly. If you gave a 6-year-old child a stick with a bit of a face on it and said, there's a board which is 4 inches, I don't know what that is in centimetres, 4 inches wide, that's how the diameter of a putting hole, and said, hit that there with that ball, anyone could do that. It's nothing to do with golf.
If a 6-year-old missed, would they carry on like how you carry on?
Well...
Like a 2-year-old?
I'm very serene and calm and placid.
You last year, by the way, on the golf course.
Let's have a look.
Come on, you weak prick. Christ! Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not f***ing doing that, mate. That's Jesus, that's weak. How weak is that? You f***ing arsehole. Put that f***ing thing down. Put that down. That's because the boys from the other clubs had come out and we were trying to break a record, and all I had to do is hit a simple shot to the green, and no, I couldn't do it.
I haven't heard language like that since I heard your phone message to Tony Sheehan last week.
Anything you want to say on that, Sam?
Well, no, I don't want to say anything more because
you said it all in the phone
Mike Sheehan is a very good friend of mine.
But you had a chat to Mike, didn't you? What did you say to Mike? His father, what did you say to Mike?
I said, this is not guilt by association, Mike. You're a very good man, which he is. And we'll leave it there. I take nothing back what I said about Tony, but I'm not saying it again.
Yeah, well, open mouth will be along a little bit later on, as you can see. Max, welcome. Great to get you doing the nut push before we even said that. What a season, an off-season it's been at Melbourne. You're one of the most exciting off-season teams in the competition, which means nothing yet, but a lot going on. First of all, Jack Watts. He hasn't been playing. He'll play in the reserves, we understand, this weekend. I'd put it to you that puts him up against it to be in the round 1 team. What's he done that's been so wrong?
Well, I don't think he's done that much, to be honest. We've had 30 to 35 guys that have been fit for all these JLT games that we've played, and Jack missed out week 1. We won against Western Bulldogs in week 1, so we kept the same sort of team, so we missed out week 2.
Max, he was one of your best players
Sounds a bit
last
fishy,
year.
Max.
Oh,
Come on.
correct. He's top 5 BNF. He's had some training issues where his intensity's lapsed in certain drills. But it's purely to Sam Wiedemann's development, Jake Spencer's development. They're just giving these guys goes. But he's going to play round 1, so I don't know what all the fuss is about.
You think he'll play in the senior team round 1?
Well, I'm putting him in our best 22, so I want him to play round 1.
Is part of the problem that he gate crashes romantic holidays? Like a romantic holiday you went on with your girlfriend. Let's have a look at this. This is from your... Now, that's Jack Watts on your romantic holiday. And if we have a really close look, your girlfriend is leaning into him, so...
There's an actual problem. That's Jess crashing mine and Jack's romantic triple A.
Did he just turn up on your holiday? What happened there?
So me and Jack were there first and Jess come up to surprise us. So, yeah, so Jess got told to pack her bags and leave while me and Jack enjoyed...
Maxie, let's talk some footy rather than girlfriends for a sec.
Yep.
You'd rather that. You'd set yourself a goal of being the #1 ruckman in the competition. We think you are now. So what... So, I suppose the question is to you now, what next? What do you do next?
Well, it's...
Prime Minister or what?
Yeah,
What's your next goal?
I think I'd be more along the lines of Donald Trump if I took control of this country.
Not another Trump. Don't start. Don't mention Donald Trump. Anyway.
Don't mention the war.
It's a territory I've never been in before. I've never really even played 2 seasons in a row, let alone two quality seasons. But I still think there's some quality ruckmen that are out there. Goldstein had a bit of an off year last season. Sandilands only played 10 or so games, and Nick Nat similar only played 10 games. And Mavs boy Tom Hickey getting 30 touches on the weekend. So there's still some quality ruckmen out there, so I'm going to be tested every single week.
The thing about you is whatever you do, you look cool. You're just a cool character, whether you're playing at the MCG or you're on a boat just enjoying the breeze. Let's have a look at you. I mean, that's just beautiful. I mean, you ever going to get rid of that beard? I mean, it's so long you could almost take it off with it, yeah?
It was a great fishing charter, that one.
I hope that wasn't on the way to the United States, because you wouldn't have been allowed in.
Moving right along. The beard...
Indicating what?
The beard of Max reminded us of this Something About Mary moment from Dermot Brett, one of our favourite sons. Oh, look at Dermot last year. On the commentary team. Unbelievable. You've got to keep an eye on the breeze, no question.
Poor Derm. Hey, speaking of lookalikes, because you shaved your head last week in solidarity with all the bald men on this show, people have been emailing and tweeting me some lookalikes. Have a look at this one. Do you reckon this looks like you, Sam?
Yeah, thumbs up, Jimmy. Yeah.
Very, very...
Was that me, the first one?
The cat.
Was that me?
Yeah.
Was it?
Have you enjoyed your hair? Have you enjoyed the week of no hair?
To be honest, Dave, very good question. I dislike it intensely.
Really?
If you're not bald, why... and if you are bald, you're very comfortable with it.
What are you looking at me for?
Because you're bald.
Oh, the receding.
What?
Baldish.
Receding.
No, you're bald, mate. You're
Look
badgerish.
at the back.
Badgerish. No, I find it really disconcerting, and
That's cool.
I've lost my... I feel
You what?
inferior.
Really?
Lost your mojo.
You've really got a really smooth head, though. Really, you're banging some stuff in there. What are you doing?
Banging nothing.
Sitting at home, by the way, tonight is Stevie J up in Sydney, and he'll be tweeting throughout the course of the show. There he is in his boxer shorts, going well, isn't he, Stevie J? Settled on the couch in Western Sydney. So all of Stevie J's feedback to all of us and insight on Sam's hair and more throughout the course of the show.
Yeah, and he was going to come down, but he failed a concussion test, we believe, so that's why he couldn't come down. So.
Oh, and he's already launched at poor Mav there. You can't read that probably, Mel. Mav, first AFL player to have his own private photographer for his Instagram photos. Is that true, Mav?
Nah, it's not true.
Yeah, not true.
I've
Good on you,
heard
I think it's
Stevie.
better than that.
I've heard that you're angry that your brother has more Instagram followers than you. Is that true?
No, it's not. I'm happy for him, mate.
Now, at least Stevie J had his kids on his lap, because the most loved video of this year is basically that BBC cross where the experts, South Korean
Play it
experts,
again.
kids in the background, came through.
I think one of your children's just walked in.
I would be surprised if they do.
Second one comes in.
Pardon me.
Look, Mama coming through.
My apologies.
Always fly.
Mama drags them out.
To the region.
The final bit is the best, though. This is where she gets them out and then... Oh, just crawl back in, yeah.
Susie, I don't know if you noticed in that bit, but I reckon that woman was actually on the toilet. That's why that happens, because it looks like she's sort of got her pants down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
I didn't notice
That's
it. I
why
wasn't
she's
looking as
crawling
closely as
out on the
you.
floor.
Yes, but anyway, there you go. Fun times.
Well, remind us of some
Because
great...
Sam would have had some kids wondering on you, you know. You probably didn't even know they were yours, I imagine, Sam.
I spent a lot of my years minding my kids on the toilet. Yeah.
Remind us, speaking of background moments, which I've been in the background most of my life, remind us of great background moments, all right? Here we go, from history gone by. Number 3 on the list tonight is, of course, the Legends Kid Drop. Who can forget this? Look at the bottom right. Oh! He's got a choice between hang on to the footy or hang on to the kid, and unfortunately, no one was hurt, thanks. A little unfortunate. Number 3. Number 2, Matty Campbell, great friend of the show from back in the day. Look at the right corner here, this dingbat in the background. Wait for it, watch it, there it is. Kiss on the cheek. But our number 1 great background moment, who could forget this from Footy Show folklore, the great Dermot.
Oh, yeah.
Warnies. Yeah. Get rid of them. Shove it. I'm looking over here at Warnie. Hang on, wait. This is a sports cafe. It's called boxing. Get him out of here. We're going to get rid of that bloke there. We got Warnie's wall up here, and it describes everything that Warnie... Oh, I think you can go and kill this. Dermot, so far you're still the best of them. We got him out of there. Go away, mate. Go away. We got him out of there. Finally. Good.
One of the great moments of a Footy Show of yesteryear with Dermot Brereton, absolutely magnificent. We're up and running tonight on the Footy Show. Plenty more to come. Our exclusive interview with the Melbourne star, Jesse Hogan ahead. The latest on the Tiger captaincy, David Koch talking tough, and a whole lot more on the Footy Show.
Tonight we've all gone bush. You'll get the first look at all the antics from the Footy Show's pre-season bonding trip. Shane Crawford gives an eyewitness account of one of the most incredible stories from last year's grand final day. Mike's open mouth segment returns. Who will get put through the ringer this week? Jesse Hogan opens up about his difficult 2016. The Foss has a big beef with the laws of the game committee, and tonight he lays it all on the table. The segment that shook the foundations of entertainment. Sookie Sookie La La Land is back to rock the world of comedy. There's some nervous kids waiting in the wings. Tonight we talk to some of the comp's top draftees. There may be some slipping and some sliding, but we'll be sure to keep our feet tonight on the Footy Show.
Footy Show, and in breaking football news as we go to air tonight in an exclusive first column, the first of many in the Herald Sun newspaper tomorrow, James Hird has broken his silence tonight about what he says was a 5-week stay in a psychiatric clinic and a battle with depression over the last 2 years, and the unconditional love of his wife and support in recent times. He's gone into great detail and gone public for the first time on the sleeping tablet issue on the night in question that led to the 5-week stay. A quote from the Herald Sun, "My first call to Beyond Blue was in 2015, Hird says. It was an admission I needed help, but it took until January 4, 2017 to dig myself out of the hole. Depression is more than just sadness, it's all-encompassing. Everyone has a breaking point, and I reached mine." This is a significant concession from James about the battle that he's going through, the unconditional love of his wife, and his love of the footy club, and hopefully for James's sake it is a small but significant step in tabling his own battle with depression, and the interesting thing there was the concession that it was sleeping tablets and an overdose that caused his 5-week stay in a psychiatric clinic. More on that with Damien Barrett a little bit later on as we go to air tonight.
And also very significant that people, I think, would think it would go back, 6 weeks or 8 weeks, but he says that it goes back a long, long time.
Yeah, to 2015, Becca. It was Beyond Blue he was in touch with back then, of course, lifeline.com.au for those having their own issues and troubles. And traces it back in detail to 2012 with his own injuries and 2002, excuse me, with his own foot injury. So a significant first of hopefully, or what I believe is many columns. So it's James public for the first time in a long time, and hopefully, Sam, it's a small step towards...
Yeah, when the final chapter is written on this incredible saga, we will find that James Hird has been unprecedentedly character assassinated by viragos and charlatans and people who should know better. And what they've done to him is an absolute disgrace. They've roundly condemned him. They've crucified him for no factual evidence at all. And the people who keep writing about him and knocking him should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, because they are honestly not worthy to be actually journalists.
We'll move on, other than to say we wish James and his family a speedy recovery, battle with depression. And I think it's absolutely speaks volumes that he has spoken about it, which hopefully is a step towards a better and healthier life.
And it will be a very interesting read, that's for sure. Hughesy, cannot let you get off the hook without asking you about your son, because he doesn't barrack for the Blues, which obviously you do. He barracks for Adelaide. Is he still barracking for Adelaide, or have you convinced him otherwise?
No, I haven't. It's really tough for me. My 7-year-old son barracks for Adelaide. I blame Patrick Dangerfield 3 years ago. We're in Adelaide, and Patrick gave my son an Adelaide jumper. I should have put it in the fruit bin at the border. He's still wearing it. And the irony is that Patrick Dangerfield now plays for Geelong, so good on you, Paddy. You've left me with a Crows supporter. It's unbelievable. I've made my son wear a Carlton jumper to the Carlton women's game a couple of weeks ago when they're playing the Giants. He didn't want to wear it. I said, you're wearing it. We bumped into Brendan Bolton, the senior Carlton coach, who's always happy. He looked at my son and said, oh, he's a good lad, isn't he, Hughesy? I'm thinking, don't dig too deep here, Brendan. Brendan said, who's your favourite player? And my son said, Eddie Betts. True story. And Brendan said he doesn't play for Carlton anymore, and my son said, I know. He plays for a good team. So Brendan said, that's a dagger through my heart. I said, Brendan, I've got to live with this arsehole. So it's very tough.
It is very tough. All right, let's take a look at the Melbourne side and the list changes throughout the season. Michael Hibbert comes across from Essendon, Pat McKenna from GWS, and probably one of the biggest names, Jordan Lewis, a move that pretty much shocked the footy world when Jordan Lewis turned up at Melbourne training. 12 seasons, 4 premierships. Gee, he brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the Melbourne Footy Club. Max, you helped him out on his first day.
Yeah, he was like a nervous little first day kid at school.
He was.
First kid day at school.
Yeah,
I did say that wrong. Yeah, he was actually quite nervous. He texted me about a week in advance asking me if I can give him a lift to training, which I thought, sure thing, and toured him around the facility down there at Amy Park.
To training, a 29-year-old, 4-time premiership player needed a lift to training, did he?
Yeah, he wanted me to shout the coffee as well, which was, for someone who's been in the business for 13 years, I thought he'd have enough cash to pay for the latte, but just little things like that.
Did he want some of your beard to put on top of his head?
He wears a lot of hats.
He wears a lot of hats?
Yeah, he wears a lot of hats. Unfortunately, game day, he can't wear hats, so it's the only time he gets it out.
Max, what impact has he had at the club already? Because he has so much experience, and you guys are pretty young and inexperienced in comparison. Has he come in and said, this is the way to do it, or is he just feeling his way?
He said himself that he wanted to sort of ease his way into it early on, but it became too hard for him. He really just wanted to get right into it and sort of... I mean, that's how bad we were. No. And he was taking training. He's even got a couple of drills named after him already. I hope he stops talking about Hawthorn soon, because a lot of the stuff he does talk about is Hawks. But that's because he hasn't played for Melbourne yet. So once he starts getting some highlights for Melbourne, we'll definitely see it.
One of the big ticket items at the Melbourne Footy Club is Jesse Hogan. How he goes is often how Melbourne football goes. And he's committed over the summer to the Demons long term. He almost, though, left the club after a difficult year. Tonight he opens up in an exclusive interview with Damien Barrett.
Was there a period of last year where you felt you were going to go home?
I wouldn't say directly. I was kind of in a bit of a rut last year, on and off the field, and was kind of struggling a bit. It kind of became a bit bigger and a bit more, not realistic, but it kind of just, became a bit of an easier option. It's getting a bit hard, getting down on myself, and then you start reading stuff, and it's
gets frustrating, and the hardest thing for me to deal was that initial, 3 to 4 weeks of playing a bit of bad footy, and then a few things back home, and then just it all kind of started snowballing a bit, and showed on the field. I had a pretty poor end of the year. I couldn't quite get to the bottom of why that was, but now looking back on it, it was kind of just my balance of everything, and probably my headspace was probably not there.
Body language-wise, even that's been commented on, hasn't it? Do you concede there was a bad body language, or are we on the outside reading too much into it?
No, I think that was another thing that I was quite oblivious to. Like I said again, on reflection, I remember last year I'd play and I'd get frustrated like most players would, but I guess as a centre-half forward it kind of stands out. And I have quite a presence on the field from my teammates, and when I'm lumbering around and throwing my hands around, it stands out, and it's not a good look. I wouldn't have said I had an issue with it, but it was kind of something that I wanted to kind of squash straight away.
There you go, Jesse Hogan with Damien Barrett. It'll be a big year for the Demons if Jesse gets firing. Hey, just as an aside, before we get Max views, Sam, you went to private school.
I did.
Pride yourself on your decorum.
Being superior.
Yep.
Yeah.
Were you taught body language at school?
No, it's innate. It's in you. If you have a superiority complex and you believe you're in the top 5% in the nation, then the 95 are beneath you, then you actually have a natural body language which says you are...
Top 5%? I've never heard you be so humble, Sam.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly in the top 5% when you have a look at what's wandering around out there on the streets. No, I'm serious. If you think I'm joking, I'm fair dinkum. Wander around on the street.
Sammy shit himself.
You're not...
I rest my case.
You're not in the top 5% mental toughness, though.
Hey?
You're weak at putting, so you're mentally not as... strong as the top 5%.
I tell you what I don't live in, Craig, and that's denial. If I'm no good at something, I'll tell you. I won't try and fool you, fudge
Max,
you.
has he been a different guy over the summer, Jesse?
Yeah, well, I've never seen him talk like that at the club, so, I mean, Damien's got it out of him, which is good. He's a great character around.
Did you ever have a problem with his body language? Did you ever say anything to him? I mean, you're a leader down there.
Well, it's something that I find. If the opponent that I'm versing, if he's got bad body language, I feel like I've got that edge. And also, if I'm looking at Jesse and he's in the forward line showing that bad body language, it brings me down as a teammate. So there's two ways you can look at it. So it's a small thing that he can pick up on, and hopefully this year we see it go better.
What do you think, Maverick?
Yeah, I think definitely you're absolutely right. You see a player that's getting frustrated with himself, and it's an opportunity for the other team to get a bit of momentum.
What do you do when you've got? Do you just have a bit of a meditate out there?
Get the candles out. Yeah, get the candles out.
Bit of a
Cross the legs. Put a
pretty bad as
caftan on. Bunch up your hair at the back with that silly little thing you got going at the back there. No, but I only say that because I wouldn't.
No hair.
Yeah.
Hey, on a serious note, if I can ask you both, actually, because Sam, you're one of the great ruckmen of history, really. One of the very few 300-game ruckmen, along with Simon Madden and some others in the competition. The third man up rule has been a contentious one over the summer, no question. And it reached, I guess, farcical points in this JLT game when Dean Gore got hit on the back of the head and a free kick was paid. As the premier ruckman, as Beck said, and I agree, within the competition, Max, what's your take on the changes to the rule? Is it better for the game, or is it something that we've just paralysis by analysis?
I'm happy with it if I get the free kick there. That'll obviously be handy, but to be honest, there's no effect. I've had 3 games. I'm not sure how you've seen it, Mav, but I've seen 3 games so far that I've played in. My numbers haven't changed in terms of hit-outs.
But you're not in need of a third man up, where the Saints play that style a lot more, Mav. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you like to use the different weapons you've got in the side. Yeah,
it's handy. Definitely having Rui up the ground, him being able to go third up. But I'm with Maxie. It hasn't really changed the game a lot. Maxie did say out the back, though, he's looking forward to those extra couple of hit-outs to bump the fantasy score up at the end of the game. But
sounds like something I'd say, doesn't it?
But, yeah, no, I don't think it's going to affect the game much.
Sam, we've been talking about this ad nauseum for the last couple of weeks, but did this happen in your days, or is it just a new phenomenon, this third man up?
Sometimes people not designated to play in the ruck would come up behind you and hit the ball just as you're about to try and hit it to someone, and you would take them aside when the ball's down the other end and you'd say, never jump over. This is to your teammate. Yeah. Never jump over me again. You handle your position and I'll look after mine. And if 6 people want to jump for the ball, we'll let them, because that means the opposition have got 5 spare people on the ground. It's absolute nonsense. The AFL would tell you how many people can jump for a ball at any particular throw-in or bounce down. It is nonsense. And as for that bloke getting hit in the back from the boundary throw-in, if this is not about umpiring with common sense, wouldn't the umpire say, throw the ball in again, or we'll bounce it? Why would you give a free kick for that when it's obviously not deliberate?
I'm sure he didn't want to, Sam, but that's the rule as it needs to be interpreted.
But mate, if we use common sense for a start and then go from there, that's what life is about,
Absolutely.
particularly umpiring.
Making a lot of sense, Sam.
And while we're on, I mean, ruckman. I mean, there's not one ruckman in the game today, maybe him, who could mark a beach ball. All they do is go up for hit-outs. When we played, we rucked for 15 minutes, then we'd go down and rest in the forward or back pocket, try and kick a goal or stop someone kicking goals. Now they get taken off the ground by this flawed paradigm. You've had 4 minutes on the ground, so let's come off and have a breather. Don't worry about the process, let's worry about the result.
You love ruck work, don't you?
Oh, mate, it is. And as for taking marks, if we didn't take 10 marks in a game over our head, you'd had a bad day.
Well,
now, they should have a summer
days.
competition where we get the AFL ruckman to see if they can mark a beach ball on the beach down there in the summer.
Well, I know you focused on the
Max,
ruckman.
you're not going to cop that, Max, eh?
No, I said with maybe the exception of him. Have you ever seen any ruckman today take a mark over the head more than once or twice a game?
Well, Sam, can we just see how much you do focus on the ruckman? Let's show some of the premier ruckmen in the competition right now and see who's that. Who's that?
That looks. I have no idea. Who is that? That's you, is it?
No, that's
Hey?
What about that? Who's
That's
that?
a man who's in need of dental surgery.
That's Giles from the West Coast. And what about that?
That's a man who, telling the war's over, he can take the helmet off.
Ruckmen do have a unique look.
What's going on with your number one ruckman?
I don't even know who that was.
You rode to that guy.
Not anymore.
Is he gone, is he?
I'm in forward line.
What about the bounce, Sam? Are you a fan of the bounce, or should it go?
Of course we're in. There must be some level of judgment needed to play this game without having it sanitised so much that they throw it 2 metres into the air. So that, mate, bounce the ball so that you have to position yourself, and they now bounce it again if it goes off in a skewed direction. If they take the bounce out of it, we may as well just...
All robots,
It is automatons, we may as well be. It is,
Maxie,
it is
what do you
nonsense.
think
You
about
wonder
the
why
bounce?
people sometimes don't go to the football.
What do you think about the bounce, Max?
I agree with Sam.
You like it?
I like the bounce. I think I'm one of the only ruckmen that are currently playing that do like the bounce. I don't know why. I like the feature of it to start the game.
That's right.
Because it's unpredictable a little bit. You don't exactly...
That helps against people that can jump higher than me, which is basically all 800 AFL players.
That's exactly the point. Is you get 7 people, 3 metres or whatever, 7 feet is, 6.5 metres, 2.5 metres. Just get them in, they just hit the ball round, and they do nothing else. They couldn't even
hang on, Sam. Maxie, if you love the bounce so much, why do you disrespect the umpires who do the bounce? This is from last year. Have a look at the disrespect he gives here. Oh, that!
What do you have to do that for?
Me and him and Sam. Not bad. That umpire looked a lot like you, Sammy, with that hair, didn't he?
What's that?
That umpire looked a lot like you with that haircut, didn't he?
We just need some innovation, Hughesy, don't we? From time to
Well,
time.
you did know that was going to be recalled, though. You did know that bounce was going to be recalled.
But it gets recalled. There's no harm done. So if they...
Well, someone's got to run over and get the ball.
I'm talking about the greater picture here, about the bounce. If the bounce gets recalled, it gets recalled, and then we throw it up. So why not keep the bounce?
And I don't know if you really respect the bounce, Sam. This is from a long time ago, obviously. Let's have a look at Sam Newman respecting an umpire's bounce.
What were you doing? Seriously, what was that?
What are you doing? I tell you what I was doing, Craig. I tell you what I was doing, Becca. I was being innovative. There is no... He bounced the ball and I smothered it. There is no rule that says the ball has to rise into the air. I was being innovative. I thought that's exactly why you bounce the ball. You can't smother it if he throws it up.
What are you doing?
Revolutionary.
Well, did you notice I ended up with the ball and was about to kick it? Why was I penalised for doing that?
You had no idea what you were doing, that's why.
I did,
Max,
look.
you should try that.
You love the bounce, why don't you let it bounce once?
Because I decided
Anyway, the ruck rule will be one of those issues going into the season, but thankfully footy's back and we're ready to go again in 1 week from now. Well, it was a controversial week last week for the Sheehan family. We had Mike and we had Tony and we had, of course, Sam Newman as well. Open Mouth made its debut last week. We weren't sure if Mike would show up tonight, but he's back again for another edition of Open Mouth.
Hi, I'm Mike Sheehan, and this is Open Mouth. He's a man who's in touch with his emotions and occasionally a teammate's face. You can read his body language like a book, a good book, not a shit one like Paul Chapman's. Brendan Goddard, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
You're not known to retreat. Your hair, on the other hand. It started to say farewell about the same time John Farnham did. Funny old world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a tough one at times, isn't it?
Do you subscribe to the theory or OCD? Everything in its place? I mean, good thing you don't have to worry about where to put any pesky premiership medallions. Good to see you laughing, Beej. I was expecting you to hit me in the face.
No, that'll come later.
If I was to ask you your favourite swear word, would you say all of them? I think you f***ing would. In 2015, you blamed Seven for catching you swearing on their microphones. I mean, did you learn anything that day? Like, for instance, how microphones work? You dobbed Travis Cloak's glove into the league, didn't you?
No.
Well, I believe you did. Is that because you're a hardline advocate for the integrity of the game, or just a hardline asshole?
Bit of both.
Yeah, I thought so.
You're laughing at yourself. Well, you are.
Back in 2014, rounded. Do you consider Neil a bit of a nong?
A nong? What's a nong?
Oh, a nuffy, an idiot.
No. Neil and I get along
A smart
well.
man. Well, that says a
Very
lot about
smart
you,
man.
Brendan.
Yeah, very smart.
I don't rate him at all.
No.
He's not in my top 50 blokes. You hit a golf ball further than any other AFL player. Is that practice, natural ability, or because you picture it as Mike Fitzpatrick's head?
I just like to hit golf balls.
You do? Okay, good call. You've been on a light and easy diet. It's an ironic name given you're anything but. I think if there was a diet named after you, it'd be called Cranky as All F***. You with me? I'm on the money, aren't I?
Yeah.
Brendan, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Put the ball in, please.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Footy Show. And if you've just tuned in, which we hope you haven't, we hope you've been here all night, but the James Hird exclusive continues. The James Hird, for those who are just joining us, has gone public with his battle with depression, and in the first of many columns in tomorrow's Herald Sun. Just two more quotes that caught my eye on this. Everyone has a breaking point. I reached mine after years of continual stress. I'm not ashamed to say I needed the care I received, and without it, I don't know where I would be. Depression is more than just sadness. And he goes on to talk about Tanya Hird. I've never seen or witnessed a person as strong as Tanya. Her unconditional, all-encompassing love, positivity, strength and ability to keep rising to the challenges has been extraordinary. Over the past 4 years, James writes in the column, I've been short-tempered, distant, hard to live with, rude and at times ill. So James Hird giving something of himself that we haven't seen before, and that's going to be fascinating reading a little bit later on. By the way, too, as we move on to the show, later on tonight, the Bush, of course, we've been out for our pre-season camp. I don't know how you did it, Becca, because you're one of the stars of Australian TV now. You've got Australian Ninja coming, which is the biggest off-season project, but you had to, unfortunately, hang out with us ratbags for a couple of days.
I reckon I went all right. I reckon you did it tough, much. I don't reckon the Bush and you go hand in hand. Hey, look, we've got Mav Weller here for his first time on the Footy Show, and we need to talk about the Saints. Let's have a look at the ins and outs over the off-season. Comes across. Kobe Stevens from the Western Bulldogs and Jack Steele comes down from GWS. Jake Carlisle, big story at the Saints, obviously can now play footy again after serving his doping ban that he received with Essendon. Mav, he must have come to training now and really looking forward to the start of the season without playing for 12 months.
Yeah, well, you can add him to the recruits as well. He's just been fantastic since he's started training at the club. Really just taking everything under his wing and really being a leader down there for our back line. So, and obviously the other boys that we've got in, Kobe and Jack, are just those tackling machines that we've got in the midfield. And Nathan Brown is obviously a premiership player from Collingwood.
Just on Kobe from the Western Bulldogs, going to add a lot of experience to your side, but he's been sick, yes?
Who's
Kobe's
that, sorry?
been sick.
Cobes has, yes.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened, mate? Before we get to that, you're focusing on that tackle, aren't you? If we have a look at that vision one more time, this is you giving Jack Viney a don't argue. What's the don't argue? Don't argue. Oh, you're going to argue. All right, I'm arguing. So
that was worth playing again.
There's a hole in the ground there, mate. I'll tell you.
Yeah, he put you in through the hole, didn't he? So you've got a connection with Jack Viney. What's the connection?
Jack's old man, Todd, was my old man's best man at his wedding. So
really?
Yeah, years of bashing up Jack. Come back to bite me in the bum, I think. So
wow.
I had a GPS in my neck for 3 weeks.
Just on Jake Carlisle, which Beck touched on before, it might be a silly question. Did you get to know him last year? Were you able to mix with him socially, or did he have a year where he was an estranged teammate?
Well, that's the thing. We weren't able to be in contact with him. He wasn't allowed to be coming down to the club.
Even Snapchat?
No Snapchat.
So you couldn't contact him at all?
I know.
I think that's what got him in trouble in the first place, with Snapchat, wasn't it?
What do you mean you couldn't contact him?
Well, I mean, sorry, we could go out and catch up with him socially, which a lot of the boys did, and I did as well. But in terms of training, yeah, sorry, that sort of contact. But training,
you didn't want to Snapchat him?
No Snapchats. Don't have Snapchat.
Just quickly before we move on, so it's hit my desk that you, Mav, live with your girlfriend's parents and moved into their house. Is that right?
I do. That is right. Yes.
What is that, just an attempt to save some rent, or what's the story there?
Well, their house is huge, so we just live out in a little bungalow at the back, mate. It's cosy.
You're not in bunks with a little brother, are you?
No, no little brother.
You're paying rent?
As an older sister.
Separate rooms, Mav?
Separate rooms.
Separate rooms?
Yeah, of course.
Out the back?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Sam. Moving in with the missus' parents, magnificent.
Same
Good
room.
on you, Mav.
Same room?
Yeah.
As the parents?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, it's back it's back for week 2. Bill Brownless's new segment. It's time for Sookie Sookie La La Land.
Who's been a sook this week? US tennis player Ryan Harrison. Have a look at this over at Indian Wells over California. Just goes bang, snaps that racket. There's one. Then he goes whack, he hits it into the net. There's 2 rackets. Then he gets beaten here and he craps the absolute sads. Another one. 4 rackets. Good on you, Rhino. I love that sort of stuff. But we say to you, Rhino, Sookie, Sookie, la la. Now a great man and great friend, Danny Frawley. Have a look at him here. We all remember this when Plugger got inducted to the St Kilda Hall of Fame.
He's the Don Bradman of our game. I'm sorry to get emotional, but I've lost it. Thank you.
Oh, Spud! He gets all tired and emotional. Spud, we say to you, Sookie, Sookie, la! He'll love that, Spud. Justin Bieber's in town. I love Biebs. I got the Bieber fever. Don't worry about that. And all those people who want to take selfies and get in his road, I'm a believer. Is that how you say it, though? I don't know. But I'm a believer. So all those people driving him mad, we say to you, Sookie, Sookie, la. And Buddha Hocking didn't get in your Hutchie behind the scenes one early on. So Buddha's rang in, he's cracked the sads. And this is what we love about Buddha. Have a look at this behind the scenes. There's Buddha. Let's have another look just for Buddha. Buddha loves that. He won't ring again, don't worry about that. But to Buddha, we say to you, Sookie, Sookie, la. He's going to hate that.
Now, I've been looking forward to this segment all week because this is where we are going to introduce to you some of the biggest names and stars of the future. We're going to hand over to Dave and Max to introduce the draftees, the best draftees in the nation. Boys, Dave Hughes, Max.
We're very, very excited, aren't we, Maxie?
I don't know how we got a segment, but I'm very excited.
No, this is the start of a bright future. What number were you drafted at?
34.
34. So
yes.
Everyone here is above you. So
it was
maybe
above me.
Yeah, they're going to be above you, all right. But the first one we're going to bring out, we need a big round of applause. He's playing for the Collingwood Football Club. Was drafted number 30 for the Oakley Chargers. Sam McLarney. must be very excited to be playing for Collingwood. Did you break for Collingwood as a child?
No, I didn't actually. I was a Cats man growing up.
You're a Cats man?
Yeah, so I had to turn the stripes the other way. So.
Yeah, wow. So you don't remind them of that grand final they got beaten?
Nah, I don't. Nah, I don't.
All right. Now, mate, one interesting thing about you is that you were born profoundly deaf.
Yep, that's correct, yeah.
So at the age of 2, you got a cochlear implant?
I did, just in the one ear, yeah.
Absolutely, and obviously it works very well.
It does, it goes pretty well. So, no, I've got, the technology's just been great. So, you know, the men and women at the Cochlear Institute, they, you know, they say superheroes don't wear capes, and they're the superheroes working miracles every day.
And also, I must say, Maxie, Collingwood supporters are hard to understand at the best of the time, so good luck with that, all right? No, they're quiet. Also, apparently you had your pre-season drinks with the players the other day. It was the last time to have a beer before the season started, is that right?
Yeah, apparently. I rocked up and asked for a latte. So I'm a latte enthusiast, and apparently you don't have lattes at these functions.
And apparently the barman almost fell off his, well, wherever he was sitting. So you learnt that from the players, yes?
Yeah. Tay Adams was very quick to tell me I'd cross the line, so, yeah.
And you've got number 35, which is Peter Dacos' old number. How does his son Josh, who's now at the club, feel about that?
Look, to be honest, Josh wanted to forge his own path. When I arrived, I actually said, you know what, give the number to Josh. I mean, I know a lot of Collingwood supporters would love to see Josh wearing it. But no, Josh wanted to forge his own path, so, you know, I'm really honoured to wear the number.
And you're going to forge your own path. Give it up, guys, for Sam McClarty.
That was a very impressive start, though. We have pick 25 to St Kilda Saints, one of Mav's boys from Footscray VFL, Benny Long. That was an impressive start, Ben, so get these answers right. So obviously played VFL last season. What's the step up to VFL to AFL like?
Yeah, obviously stepping up from the VFL, obviously playing VFL last season, and probably the big step up from VFL to AFL is probably the tempo of the game, and obviously playing against bigger bodies, and it's a bit you know, more fast flowing, and yeah.
Now, you won't be playing round 1 and 2. Can you tell us why? It might have something to do with that game of footy there against a couple of my Melbourne boys.
Yeah, I just got rubbed out of round 1 and 2 from last season's VFL Grand Final, so you know, I guess I copped it, and yeah, I missed around 1 and 2.
Were you just looking for a bit longer holiday, were you, or was it?
Nah, it wasn't that.
So they should have gave you 2 weeks pay advance for knocking Lyndon Dunn on the ground. But, oh well. Anyway, I remember my first year at the club. All I did was eat, sleep, drink, and smoke. Are you similar?
Bit different.
Bit different?
Yeah, a little different, obviously.
That's all right, Mav. Mav, obviously a different culture down at Saints.
Yeah, more of a, you know, obviously you get home from training and sleep and eat and, you know, train again.
There's a reason why he hasn't been a mentor.
Now, you're boarded at Melbourne Grammar, which is top-of-the-line private schools here at in Melbourne, but you're from Darwin. What's the differences? Because I can obviously see differences just looking at the two, but...
yeah, obviously moving down from Darwin, going to Melbourne Grammar, obviously one of the best schools in Victoria, or probably Australia, and obviously made a lot of new friends there, and obviously, you know, they're a bit different to, you know, Darwin people, I'd say, but, you know, they're up there. Not really, you know, nothing bad, but...
There's not as many wankers, or there is no...
Well, anyway, you're a cousin of Sirioli, a nephew of Michael Long. I wish you all the best.
Yes,
just not round 1, but from then on. Next up, pick 12 to North Melbourne. Jai Simpkin, everybody. Give it up for Jai. Now, you got a little bit of vision just to start off. You obviously played the JLT series, which is good for a first-year player, and you come up against Luke Hodge. Just talk us through this little manoeuvre that you do.
Yeah, not too sure what happened there. happened to get around him, which was good.
Well, I'm going to steal Damien Barrett's thunder. That is the real reason why Luke Hodge is not playing round one. He got told to keep him to the boundary and keep him on one shoulder, and he didn't, and you've stepped in, so you have a message for Hodgie? No, I won't make it do that.
Well, it was a blind turn, and Hodgie just rolled with the blind part of the turn, so...
Anyway, you lived with one of my young boys called Clayton Oliver. I'm guessing that was an experience?
Yeah, no, Clayton's a good mate of mine back in Maroopna. When we were both 16, 15, he used to pretty much live at my house. Every weekend he'd come over to play footy and, you know, became really good mates with him.
Are you doing that tactic that the good-looking girl does? You know, hang out with their ugly friends and make it seem like you're a bit better attractive?
Nah, Clayton's done well for himself. He's got a pretty girlfriend, so no, he's good.
He's a pale redhead with a great personality, so...
Now, we also, Clayton, I did ask for some dirt, and the only dirt he said is he's surprised you're wearing a T-shirt tonight. If we got a couple of photos that might come through here. You do like a lot of T-shirt off time.
Now, that's your dad, isn't it? Was that your dad?
That was my dad. Yes,
yeah, but is he disappointed you don't have any tattoos?
I actually do. If you look carefully on my ankle there.
Oh, one that you can cover with a sock. What a man.
Might be a few to come.
Oh, a few to come, fair enough.
Now, you trained with the D's last year as an AIS kid, so I got to know you for 2 weeks. Just a quick question, who do you reckon the best trainer was? That means he did not want to say me. Anyway, that's Josh Simpkin, everybody.
Great stuff. Now, the number one pick in last year's draft, he's playing for Essendon now. His name is Andy McGrath. Give it up, guys. Now, you spent the first 5 years of your life where?
In Canada.
In Canada. And I believe you speak at home with a Canadian accent to your parents, is that right?
That is correct, yep.
So, can you say Elton or boat?
Not right now, no.
You can't bring out your Canadian accent for us at all?
It doesn't really work outside my 4 walls in my house. Well, sorry, easy.
Just pretend Gorney's your dad.
He's a little bit taller than my dad.
All right, fair enough. Now, all right, you started back with some of the other new players, including Joe Watson and Dyson Hepple, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Were you showing them the ropes, or...?
No, I think it was the other way around.
Yeah, but it must be great to be at the club now that everyone's back together. It must be a really exciting feel.
Yeah, it's great. All the players have been amazing. They're all so excited about the year to come and really excited for next week and what that might hold.
It's going to be extraordinary, no doubt. Essendon we're probably going to have a great year. But being Canadian, do you know Justin Bieber? Have you caught up with Justin?
No, I haven't. He's been pretty lost, I reckon. No one really knows where he is, and no one really wants to, I don't think. But,
he's not a believer. Another Canadian. Now, I believe that Brendan Goddard gave you a lift home on one of your first days at training, and he asked you what nicknames do you hate, and what did you say? What nickname you hate? What did you tell him?
Oh, I tried to play dumb at first. I sort of said, oh, I don't really have any, and then he thought a pigeon, and I said, no, not that, just between us, and he said, big mistake, mate. So that stuck, and that's my nickname now.
And what did you find in your locker a couple of weeks ago?
What do you reckon?
A live pigeon. Yes?
Yeah, scared the living daylights out of me one morning. James Kelly sort of stitched that one up. He was sitting next to my locker. His locker's around the corner, being number 47, but I was wondering why he was there and why there was pigeon seeds everywhere, and soon found out there was a pigeon in the top of my locker.
Well, guys, give it up. Brilliant. Come on, number one pick, Andy McGrath. Good on you, mate. Thank you. There you go. Back to you guys.
Max and Yugi, thank you very much. Keep your round of applause going for all those guys. Sam McClarty, Ben Long, John Simpson, Hugh McClarty, and Andy McGrath. Great to meet you all, and I'm sure you'll be on the Footy Show in the not-too-distant future. We're going to take a very short break here on the Footy Show. Much more to come, including our off-season camping trip. Stay tuned.
Still to come, Collingwood co-vice captain Taylor Adams and North Melbourne Colossus Ben Brown join our star-studded second panel. Croft talks us through one of the most incredible stories from last year's grand final. We'll bring you the big moments from the Footy Show pre-season bonding trip. Damien Barrett brings us up to speed with all the big news of the week. And the game's grassroots players fly one more time in Ormo's footy legends. It's a right royal lineup. Nice one, Willie.
partners on the Footy Show. Home Timber and Hardware, go where the tradies go. Chemist Warehouse, the home of real brands and real savings. Good to see Mario and the coaches today. Telstra, stream it live, fast and data-free. And the wonderful team at Sportsbet with the new Same Game Multi. You can download the app today, or you can jump on the Sportsbet app. Here you go, and place an AFL Multi within the same game of footy. All of our partners, Home Timber and Hardware, Chemist Warehouse, Telstra, and of course Sportsbet. We thank them for their support of the Footy Show in the year ahead. Right, well, long before I came along, this show's broken the biggest stories in football for 24 years, and it continues this year with the 17-time AFMA winner. Put your hands together for the #1 newsbreaker in the country, Damien Barrett, everybody. Thank you, Hutchie.
Hutchie, it's a cashed-up St Kilda that tonight is preparing to launch a very serious bid to woo disgruntled giant Lachie Whitfield to its club. They have got money to burn the Saints. They have already got 2 picks inside the first round of the next draft. And while Whitfield is contracted until the end of 2018, that is not going to deter the Saints from having a serious crack at him at the end of this particular year. Their links to him go back to when he was a 16-year-old. He trained with the club back then. They've kept in touch with people around him. Interestingly, and this is either rightly or wrongly and may surprise some people close to Whitfield are upset still at some aspects of the Giants' handling to matters pertaining to the ban that he's currently serving under the Asada situation. Just on big names, Dustin Martin, we know there's a long list of clubs seeking his services as the free agent from Richmond. Definitely add North Melbourne as a club to that list. They missed out on Isaac Heaney. He offered him, I believe, a 7-year deal in the vicinity of $900,000 a year. He rejected that. I raised that. They've got money to burn the Roos like the Saints do, and they are prepared to part with it at the end of this year.
All right, so Martin and Whitfield among the targets. Whitfield contracted, Martin not. Speaking of the Tigers, Trent Cotchin today at the captain's unveiling, but he's yet to be named as Richmond captain. What can you tell us?
Look, something would have to go horrifically and horribly wrong for Trent Cotchin to not be renamed as captain of that footy club. Hutchie, everyone I've spoken to today, and even as recently as an hour ago, linked to Richmond, will expect him to be announced and endorsed publicly by Monday of next week at the latest as captain, and that the posturing around this leadership situation is effectively to do with people beneath the senior captaincy position.
All right, watch this space. Could go down as soon as tomorrow. Port Adelaide have raised the stakes on their coach, Ken Hinkley.
Yeah, look, they're under incredible pressure at Port Adelaide. Every single person at that footy club, David Koch himself, but mostly Ken Hinkley, the coach. And as you're about to see here from David Koch, the pressure under which everyone will be operating under in 2017 is going to be extremely immense, particularly for Hinkley.
Well, no, it's just failed, full stop.
Why
not making the finals is no excuse. It's just failure, full stop. And I hate giving excuses. I'll just say, look, we failed. We've learned. We've got to do better, and we'll continue to learn. And we understand the expectations of our members and supporters is that we play, and my expectations is we play finals each and every year and high finals.
Can you tolerate a third year of failure without there being major changes?
No, we're not going to tolerate a third year at all. And we don't think we'll need to.
David Koch speaking exclusively to Channel 9. He's contracted, of course, for another year, but a big year ahead for Ken and for Port Adelaide. It looked all right on the weekend. Damo, 6 millionaires named from the 2016 season in today's annual report. Who are they? Well, what's your best guess on who the 6 players are earning $1 million?
You can absolutely lock in a trio. Buddy Franklin, Gary Ablett and Tom Boyd. Just lock them in as a trio of the 6. I'd be adding Scott Pendlebury from Collingwood as a 4th member of that. Interestingly enough, Dane Beams, on last year's figures where his contract was front-ended, I believe took him into the 7-figure realm. And while some other people may be saying that Fife was the 6th member of that club, Hutchie, I'm thinking it may well be Nick Natanui being the 6th person of that $1 million plus last year wage. And Hutchie, just before I go, Gold Coast Suns have had the problem of big-name players and lucrative draft pick players leaving the club in recent years. O'Meara Prestia most recently. They're on the verge and they're very, very close to having this happen. They had 4 picks inside the top 10 last year. They are really, really close to having all 4 of those players committing to the footy club, on paper at least, until the end of 2020. That's really close to being done.
Better times for football in Queensland. Put your hands together for Damien Barrett, everyone. Magnificent.
Okay, lots of footy news around, but now it is time for some really big news because it's Sam's mailbag.
Molly lent me this. This is Molly's.
Is it really?
He's gone to watch the Storm, so he lent it to me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is. And incidentally, Lou Richards was 94
He
yesterday.
was. Happy
God,
birthday.
love him. 94.
Still going strong. Love it. Letter 1.
Thank you, Beck. This is from Noel of Laverton. Dear number 17, you used to be my favourite player at the Cattery. Now I just think you are a narcissistic jerk. Over the past 10 years, I've sent you what must be a dozen or so footy cards of your good self to sign. Well, how completely stupid are you, Noel? After a couple of years, I would have given up, mate, but if you've been doing it for 10, that's your fault. Well, I mean, would I have got the cards? Noel's probably illiterate.
You open your mail?
I never knew I got any. He's probably illiterate and can't read and couldn't read it.
Easy.
No, Noel's a bloody pisser.
Come on, keep reading his letter.
And though I'm not flush with money, being a pensioner, each time I went to the trouble of sending through a prepaid self-addressed envelope. Oh, well, you should be in Bill's Suki Lala. As my wife says, turns out I sent a self-addressed envelope to a self-absorbed asshole. How we go?
Yeah.
Why am I reading these letters out, Rob?
It's very complimentary, isn't
Not
it?
once have you returned the cards or even sent a courtesy reply, Newman. I've enclosed one final... Oh, no, this is sense. I've enclosed one final Scanlon's football card, and you will note I have taken the opportunity to roll it up and really tightly bind it, which should make it easier to stick up your ass.
That's a good final letter from Noel.
Noel, incidentally, is the vicar of the Church of All Saints down there at Leverton. And,
Come on, Sam. What are you going to do it? Come on.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Not one of your best ideas, Susie.
If I thought I wouldn't be called to the top office tomorrow, I would. From Quentin, not Quentin Crisp, but could you know who Quentin Crisp was? No, don't you? He was a raging. Quentin Crisp of Little River. John, please stop showing fat lookalikes of Craig Hutchison. It is offensive. Well, yeah. I couldn't agree more. We're going to show a fat lookalike of Bill.
That's not fair. It's not funny. That's not funny.
That is humorous. Right? If you're fat...
That was very close.
If you're fat, you're fat, mate, and we should laugh at people who are fat.
Moving right along,
we
Sam.
shouldn't.
Letter 3, please.
Speaking of being PC... that wasn't PC saying that. I remember there was a Sydney school, and this is true, that banned clapping. Do you remember that? Watching Mailbag last week, I assume you've done the same thing. Because they didn't think it was funny. They did actually ban clapping at a school. Headline here's it. Instead of clapping, silent cheering and pulling excited faces to respect noise-sensitive students. Now that
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yep.
Oh, and a bit of gossip at Corio Community Park, says Quentin. What a charmer. I hear they are tossing up whether to build a statue of you or a public urinal. My guess is, if they build a statue, that will suit both purposes.
Yeah, that got them clapping.
Yeah. Here's a gesture that's silent and not clapping or noiseless, and that's that to those people. From John T. of Alexandra. Sam, do you think TV networks should show disturbing images of injuries such as Gold Coast Sam Days? What do you think, Beck?
Oh, it's a bit icky, isn't it, sometimes?
Once is enough, I think.
Not over and over and over
This is
again.
him. This is him. I think that is a morphine
Sucking on the
inhalant or
painkiller.
a pethidine inhalant. If you got an outer of pethidine inhalant, send them to the station here, would you? Has anyone got any morphine inhalants?
No, sir.
Hey?
Not on us.
Well, she can get some. Well, this would have been a better version, just to make it more enchanting and exciting if we could have...
Sometimes that could be transferred.
Oh, very nice.
If you're going to blow on anything, or you may as well blow on a thing.
A party popper.
And you've spent a bit of time with Alec Rance recently. How do you think the Tigers will fare this year? Well, the same as every year.
If you want to write in and contribute to Sam's mailbag, keep your watch 9 Melbourne, Victoria, 3109now.com.au/AFL Footy Show.
Oh, a little bit sad now because we have to farewell Mav and Max. You have been absolutely sensational. Wishing you all the best for the start of the season. Next week, we have, stick around because we have Taylor Adams from Collingwood and Ben Brown from the Roos coming up very, very shortly. Cusie, you are sticking around. We are taking a short break. We have much more to come on The Footy Show. See you on the other side of it. Welcome back to The Footy Show, everybody. Married at First Sight. What a sensational show on Channel 9 at the moment, Sunday, 7 o'clock. And that man there, Nick from Married at First Sight. Welcome to The Footy Show. Great to see you in tonight. That show going absolutely great guns across the nation. Now, we need to get to our second panel tonight. Please put your hands together. From the Collingwood Footy Club, Taylor Adams, and from the Roos, Big Ben Brown. Come on in, Ben.
Good to see you, Benny. Thanks for coming.
Good to have the boys along. Welcome to Ben and Taylor Adams. Fantastic to have you. Collingwood and North Melbourne Stars, they are coming into this season too.
Can I say, I'm not sure about all that smoke as they come in. It looks like, what the hell were they doing out there, you know?
I think it suits Ben. He looks like you're in a rock band out there. I think it suits you perfectly.
Nearly a bushfire disaster with Ben and Max before him, no question. Taylor, welcome to you. You were down my neck of the woods on the weekend. How was the Pies trip to Maui?
Yeah, that was good. We had a good win down there. It was a bit closer than hitting up Mandurah in Perth. So it was a great trip. We got out of it what we needed to, and you know, we're prepared for round one now.
Did you see Joey from Maui, the famous Joey from Maui, who we featured last year on this show?
Yeah, I did, and he mentioned your name.
Did he? There he is. There's Joey.
Joey from Maui.
He's a big Cats fan, so yeah. Still recovering.
You know what Maui stands for, Sam, don't you?
No, Craig.
Moccasins on everyone. No, I'm a Gippsland. I love Maui. It's a magnificent part of Victoria.
Do back down.
Taylor, it's going to be an interesting year for the Magpies. We saw Scott Pendlebury today at the captaincy announcement. A little bit miffed or curious as to how no other of the captains had Collingwood in the 8. It seems like your team's been written off a little bit broadly, and this will give you some fuel into 2017.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what the competition thinks of your side. Look, I don't think we're too worried about what all other teams are thinking at this stage. It's a little bit unknown for us, to be honest. I think we've had a great pre-season. Our list is probably as healthy as it's ever been over the last 3 years. So, you know, we've done all the work we needed to. Not much more we can do now. The game's 8 days away. So we're looking forward to getting out there next Friday.
That is indeed. Individually, congratulations, Taylor, on being named vice-captain. What will you do differently and how will you lead the club and what do you bring to the vice-captain's role?
Yeah, no, I think I was actually in the leadership group last year, and it's probably going to be a very similar role. You know, Scott's definitely the face of our footy club. He's been our captain for 4 years now, and he's doing the job beautifully. So, for Steele and myself, to be named alongside him was certainly a real thrill. you know, to have the respect of your teammates, to be seen in that light, you know, it's a great honour for me. But yeah, nothing really changes. I think I'll play exactly the same role as I did last year.
Just on the coach, Nathan Buckley, who goes into a challenging year. He's one of probably 5 coaches, as Damo pointed to last week, Ken Hinkley among them tonight. Have you noticed, he was very public at the end of last year saying if Collingwood didn't make the finals, he thought he'd struggle to keep his job. Do you think he's been too hard on himself there? Did that add any pressure to the group? And the third part of that is we hear he's been working really hard on delegating over the summer, on evolving as a coach. You've been very close to him. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I think, first of all, what Buck said late last year about finals this year was very noble of him. You know, he does a great job in preparing us as players to go out there every weekend and perform at our best. And come next Friday night, there's not much that he can do once that first siren goes and the ball's bounced. I think he's done a great job over the last 3 years preparing our list to play finals footy for the next, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 years. So, yeah, very, very noble of him to come out and say that, but the pressure sort of doesn't get to the playing group. We don't read too much into it.
There's always pressure on Collingwood coaches, including the Collingwood women's coach. He was at, I want to show him at the photo shoot. Just look how much pressure he looks like he's under. Now...
He doesn't know where to look or what.
No, that's not a still. Everyone else was moving. How long has he been catatonic?
Yeah, he looks a bit scared there. I don't know what the girls are saying to him, but there's actually still a chance to play in the grand final. I think they win by about 350 points this weekend.
Yeah. They've found form, the Collingwood girls, and wish them luck on the weekend. They found great form at the back end of the season, Mo Hope among them. Interestingly, the list has changed. You pointed to that under Nathan's leadership. I think one of the questions going in this year, Champion Data rated your midfield the best and deepest in the competition. If it stays fit, you're going to be very competitive in the coalface, and you're one of about 10, you know, B to A grade midfielders. The back half's going to be the interesting one. Whether it's fit and whether it's good enough with those list changes, there's a lot of change in that back half of the ground coming into the year.
Yeah, we definitely lost some senior players from that back half. Jack Frost and Nathan Brown have both departed. But I think what we've brought in this year, we've brought Lyndon Dunn, Henry Shade, and there's some young guys that have played they'll play their 50th game this year. Tom Langdon, Josh Smith. So they're starting to mature as footballers, and we believe that our structure and the way that those guys are playing together this pre-season will hold up. And I think we saw that in the JLT series. Like, we got smacked out of centre bounce against Freo, and I think they kicked 1 centre bounce goal. So I'm not worried at all about our back line. I think that they work as a back six, they'll be fine.
Sorry, Sam.
No, go ahead.
No, we're just talking about the back line. I just want to talk about the front line and what's going on there, because obviously Travis is gone. Where are your goals going to come from this year? Because that's the aim of the game.
Yeah, well, Alex Asolo certainly likes to kick a goal, and he kicked 25 last year from 11 games. So we've got Darcy Moore there. Obviously, hopefully Jamie Elliott plays a lot of footy this year. We missed him sorely last year, so
he's back fully fit, yeah, Jamie Elliott. He's got something in his back.
Yes.
No, and he's got a foot injury at the moment, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he had his back put him out of all last year, and that's fine now. And he rolled his ankle at training, which I'm hearing's pretty minor and likely to be able to play round 1.
Good
now,
news for
just
Jamie.
quickly, Taylor, we saw David Koch weigh into what he thought Port Adelaide, as the president, might have to do. What about Eddie Maguire? Has he been down and gone rat-a-tat-tat with the boys, just looked you in the eye and given you the stare? Frightened the life out of you?
I've had one scary chat with Eddie. Well, not chat, I've had one spray from Eddie in my 3 years at the footy club, and I don't ever want to be there again. He's a very passionate man, as we all know. He loves...
What shade does his face have to go before you got to run?
He's almost purple all the time, so... Ed's a great man. We love having him around the footy club. He shows his face at least once a week. And you look at what he's built from, you know, Victoria Park to what we've got now. You know, us players are so privileged to have him around.
Well done.
Well done. We need to officially welcome Ben Brown from the Roos tonight. It is fabulous to have you here, Ben. Before we start talking to you, Ben, about your footy. I want to talk to you about maybe what you want to do after footy. I know I'm maybe preempting things, but you're quite interested in journalism. Do you have a degree or...
You don't need one of those, Becky. Just turn up.
Yeah, just graduated, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
From?
So, from Deakin University.
Fine university, that is.
Yeah, so did my couple of years. I was probably lucky to have a couple of years studying before I got to AFL level, so that actually helped me knock a few of my units off, and I'm done now.
So, who would be your favourite journalist then? Keep in mind that Hutchie and I are both journalists.
Look, it'd have to be Damien Barrett, wouldn't it?
Oh, there we go. He's coming back on the footy show. And who do you think would like to interview? Who would be your favourite interview if you could have anyone in the entire world?
Oh, golly, that's a difficult one. I'd love to interview Sam Newman. That'd be a very
we
interesting
can arrange
chat.
that. Don't worry, he's got plenty of time free.
What would you ask him, Ben? What would be the first question you'd like to know from Sam?
Just why?
Where's your hair?
Why?
Would you like some of my hair, Sam?
I would love some of your hair. Now, I admire you for being a journalist because you've had to study the English language and wordsmiths and sentence structure and making sense and being accurate and being honest and not being subjective, being objective, even if you didn't like the subject. So I'd be the first person you should ask because I've got a feeling you don't like me, but you'd be fair.
Look, I'd definitely be fair, Sam, I think, yeah.
Because Sam loves journalists, don't you, generally?
Not generally, no. No, because most of them are... Actually, most of them are wankers. Well, they are. No, seriously.
A lot of players are media shy. How will you balance that for the rest of your career? Will you be... and sometimes players are very testing relationships with the media. How will you try and strike the balance?
I think you always just got to try and play, pretty straight bat to the media a lot of the time. But, I think all of us players, you have different relationships with the media, but I'm pretty open, and I think most of the guys at North are. We have been for a few years.
If it's not journalism for you, I think fast food could be your go. There's a photo of you late last year, so you certainly... you didn't have to try hard to become Ronald McDonald, did you really? So...
Yeah, that was my little Mad Monday costume. My partner helped me out there, did a fair bit of sewing, so thanks to her for that.
Now, Ben, plenty of fire down at the Kangaroos this season, hoping to go a little bit better than last season. But what is going on at training? Because there's been what you call as fair dinkum biffo down there.
Yeah, it has been. I think Lukey McDonald's been one of the ones who's been right in there and at it, and big Braden Bruce. 110 kilos coming down on your head. I think Spitter got a bit angry at that one, but yeah, he's a big boy, big Prusy, and he's been going all right in the pre-season so far. So, yeah.
Ben, a lot of us have written North Melbourne off over the last 12 months in coming into this season as not being a 2017 finals mix. Do you think you have the good pre-season form's been good? Do you think that the doomsdayers have been quick, and I've been among them, or do you think that you're going to go through a natural rebuild to get back to the top end of the ladder?
Oh yeah, it's a bit of a different experience for us, and particularly for me. I came into a club where we had a pretty old list by comparison to other sides, and I've been there when Brent Harvey and Drew Petrie and Nick D'Alsanto have kind of ruled the roost, and they're all gone now. So it'll be an interesting year for us as well as everyone watching football, I think. But we've seen from the last few years, and particularly last year with the Western Bulldogs, that it doesn't take necessarily having experience or a lot of it to go a long way in the competition, and that's what we're hoping to do this year. And
you're celebrating the little wins in pre-season. Marley Williams, one of your recruits from Collingwood, he had a shot at goal, and have a look at how this went. Has a shot at goal and hits the post, and then that's the celebration for a point. That's amazing. Was he actually aiming for the points, was he?
Yeah, he was. Look, that reaction was amazing. I wasn't actually out there. I was in doing a cross-chain, but the boys loved it. They gave him a bit of a pep up, I think. Yeah.
So celebrate like they're feeding a post. Imagine if you win the grand final. That's going to be amazing, isn't it?
It's good to have you in, Ben. Taylor, and talk more to you both a little bit later on through the course of the show. Right, well, the great story of 2016 was the Western Bulldogs Premiership. It was the second ever. It was absolutely magnificent, and it delivered so many great human stories. Good to see Peter Gordon tonight, the president, receiving the flag, which will be unveiled in round 2 in the home Bulldogs home game. One of the great stories of grand final day was someone in the crowd, as was reported at the time, and Shane Crawford is in the crowd tonight with him.
Thank you, Hutchie. Hello, everyone.
ready to go. You okay? This man here, Rob McCarthy, he's a dog supporter and he's got an amazing story to tell. Grand final 2016, the Mighty Dogs on fire. 10 minutes to go. You're there. I was watching what was going on. Tell us what happened.
Well, prior to that, I'd made a comment to a woman who's sitting a couple of seats away from me that, and my heart was palpitating, that I hope they have an ambulance out the front of the MCG because if the doggy wins, I'm going to have a heart attack. And it turned out to be very prophetic because 2 minutes later, I went into cardiac arrest and...
That's right, on level 2, MCG,
level 2,
it was
MCG,
all happening.
That was it.
10 minutes to go, grand final. And all the work was getting done. There was amazing people around you.
Incredible.
But the Dogs had won. The song was being sung. And is it true that CPR being performed on you, you need to find a bit of a beat, and because the song was being played so many times, that actually pretty much brought you back to life?
Yeah, the paramedic apparently. Yeah, the first paramedic was an off-duty paramedic behind me, sitting close to me. Liam, his name was, and he worked on me straight away and brought me back, and I was unconscious. And then apparently a couple more worked on me, and that's when one of them was actually using CPR on me to the tune of Sons of the Scree, red, white and blue.
And it worked?
And it worked, yes.
And it worked.
Right.
And I remember seeing you about half an hour later being stretchered out, and you did raise your thumb up, and everyone started clapping, so it was like a double win.
I'd asked if the doggies had won.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they did.
Yeah, and
We've got a little bit of a treat for you today because we're going to show you some highlights of the last 10 minutes. Here we go. Right here is, I don't know what's going up here. Boyd, he's got the ball. He kicks it long. It's a beautiful goal. You missed that bit, but that was a highlight. Everyone got out of their seats for that. That's magnificent. How good is that, hey? The Dogs having a win. Hey, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And look at that. They're celebrating. It's all happening. Now, also, obviously, it was a wonderful win and a historic win. What an amazing moment for football and the Western Bulldogs. But we also, you'll find when you get home on your doorstep, we've got a DVD of the game. Easton Wood and Luke Beveridge have signed it and said come down the training any time. But thanks for sharing that
Thank
story.
you.
It's glad to see you, and let's hope the Bulldogs don't go too well this year and you stay with us. Hey, good on you. Well done, Paul. And well done to everyone that contributed to saving the life of Rob McCarthy. The paramedics, the CPR on hand on grand final day. He missed the last 10 minutes, but it saved his life. Round of applause again for Rob McCarthy. Absolutely magnificent. Right, plenty more to come. That's it, plenty more to come on the Footy Show after the break. Part 1 of our pre-season bonding in the bush.
Oh, this is a f***ing disaster.
Awesome. Here we are. In the middle of nowhere.
Come on, boss.
Come on.
Come on, let's be positive. Go on, boss.
Come on, let's go. Let's have a good day without him. Come on, old timer, you all right? We brought our dad along.
Come on, boss.
Oh, you're over there.
Come on, boss. Here
Well,
I
here we are. Where are we?
We're in the
I'll go over here, Dad.
All right. Well, this looks silly.
Oh, there's the first one. There's the first one. Welcome.
Go away.
Come on, give a bush a cuddle.
Go away.
Give a bush a cuddle.
Give a bush a cuddle.
Everyone wave goodbye to the bus. The bus is off. Goodbye, bus.
No, it's actually got my stuff in it and my phone.
Oh, you don't need that. We're camping. The more we get into this as a team, the quicker the bus will come back. Bye, bus.
Look at that boy.
So put your hands together for Craig Hutchinson coming on board. And what better way to celebrate than with
Frothy!
Champagne! Are we happy with that? Yeah! All right, here we go. So what we thought I'd do with the champagne, Daniel Ricciardo bringing the Red Bull team together. What does he normally do at the end of a race if he has a victory? A shoey. He does a shoey.
Shoey.
I thought we could all do our own shoey. And being the newest member, Craig Hutchinson, take off your shoe. We are all going to do a shoey together.
Not in Hutchie's shoe.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Oh,
we'll
there's
die.
so much
We
tenure
will
in
die.
there.
If you think I'm drinking, he got toe jam for a start.
Why don't we drink it out of his jocks?
No,
That'd be
we're not going to do
cleaner.
this. This is to start.
Yeah, filter it through his jocks.
Can we get this shit?
Hang on.
Oh, you really don't have socks. Oh, that is an ugly force. No, we all have to do this, so everyone's standing.
No, I'm not. Shane, this is hardly bonding.
Well, Ricardo
This is-
has
this
done
is
this right
group-
around the world. It's brought the Red Bull team together.
This is group illness. Pretend,
Welcome to the team.
pretend
Where
you
you go?
just
Drink,
won the
go,
Grom.
quick, go, drink, drink, drink. Oh, drink it. All right, well done. There you go, go, Bill.
You got any more?
You get to be a part of a wonderful team here at the Footy Show. Go on, drink it. Sorry, you okay with Sam, you're the only one that
Cough, shut up.
No, hang on.
Oh, his fedora got wet.
That is a... I'll do it.
Yeah, well,
get out of the way.
Drink it. Don't let it.
Could have got some good champagne. Fair dinkum.
Is that a bit of tinea going down your throat? All right, well done.
You have your shoe back, Craig.
Well done, everyone. That's great. Great way to start. Great way to start.
I farted.
This is so revolting.
And what we have to do is we've got to put a tent up, OK?
A what?
A tent up.
A tent.
A tent up.
A tent
What's
up.
a tent up?
We've got to make a tent. So what we need to do, as a team...
We need an interpreter. Someone to explain what the f he's saying.
I can't get the bag open.
Yeah, give it to me. Hutchie hasn't done anything. You're just standing there.
What are we meant to do?
Me and Beckett will do it. You three.
They're hopeless. You just go and have a cup of
You
tea.
three actually f off.
You're idiots.
There's some ropes. What? There's another rope. Oh.
Idiot.
Can someone get the poles?
Can someone get me a brown pole, Hutchie? Hutchie,
listen,
get a brown pole.
Be supportive.
That's blue.
Supportive.
Get me a brown
We
pole.
play together. Hey.
The trouble with you, Bill,
Yeah.
that you see a whole
There's a
bunch of...
Hey, what are you doing?
You can't have it in yet.
Ostrich.
What we need to do now is we need to get changed into our uniforms. What a scouting group this is. They promised to do their best. The Footy Show Fireflies, Rebecca, Craig,
That, we're not showing that bit.
and Fossil. We are missing someone. Who are we
Brayshaw.
missing? Come on.
Brayshaw.
Brayshaw, you idiot. Dave!
Use it.
That's right. So,
Where
the
is
very
Dave?
first that we're going for,
Dave.
comedy badge.
Oh.
OK, so for half an hour, we have to pretend to be Dave Hughes. So, makeup, please. We need some makeup.
Oh, no. Take a watch Craig get up on the blocks here. This will be good.
Good on you.
Whoa! Shit.
Hello, everyone. It's Hughesy. Hey, good on you. Good on you. It's great to be here. You're a wonderful, amazing audience.
Good on you.
Biggest I've ever had. 4. Amazing. Amazing. Good on you.
I go for the Blues. You do? Good on you. Yes, I got 3 kids. Yeah. Little shits, but good on you. Oh.
Good on you! Good on you. I got 3 kids at home, 1 of each.
Hey.
I didn't say that. 1 of each. Good on you.
Good on you. I was doing a gig in Perth and I went home after the gig and I rang up me missus and I said, I'm lying here with me dick. What should I do with it? And she said, why don't you hit it with a f***ing hammer? Good, and I said, good on you.
That's actually what I do.
And I said, good on you.
Come back.
Oh, come back.
I can't do it. Marvin, good on you. You're too far. When I was back in Waterville, I smoked so many drugs.
Good on you.
Good on you.
Hey, Hughesy.
all I can say is good on you.
I was going to say, for God's sake, just say it once so we know what it sounds like properly.
Good on you. You know what?
What about
and Billy
Sam?
Brown
That's all
was
he
the dick hammer was in Adelaide, mate, so...
Good on you.
Well, would you...
Seriously,
That's all Sam had.
People, I'm an artist. This is bullshit.
We have to go to break now because we're all crying here. Would you believe it gets even worse? There's part 2 of the
Good on
camping
you,
trip.
Hizzy.
It's after dark, so we'll be playing that next week. Stick around. We're going to have a short commercial break. We'll be back with Overrated, after this.
To the Footy Show, and thanks for staying up at home and watching tonight. And for all those who are still up watching, the audience has to say...
Absolutely. Tickets available, and my comedy for the show starts in a couple of weeks, so get involved.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Do you say good on you in your comedy show?
If you turn up, I will.
There you go.
His show is Underrated, Beck. It's time for...
It is. Taylor and Ben, this is your moment to shine. Overrated, underrated. We played it last week. It went quite well, so it's back. All right, I say a word, you say underrated, overrated. I'll start with Ben. Justin Bieber.
Overrated.
Underrated.
Okay. Ben Crocker's ears, Ben.
Underrated.
They're big. Taylor?
Huge. Nah, underrated. Underrated.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, underrated.
Yeah, nice one.
Overrated.
Oh, come on, Taylor. I liked you, and now I just went off you. Lammy's Tavern in Geelong. Taylor.
Underrated.
It is underrated.
Golly, I don't know what that
Have
is.
you been there, Ben?
No, I haven't.
I'll take you next weekend. Having an AFL micro figure named after you, Ben?
Underrated.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Taylor, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
You don't have one,
I'm
though.
jealous.
Ben does. Journalism degrees?
Underrated.
Yep.
Underrated.
Overrated.
The overrated. The book 50 Shades of Grey, Taylor.
Overrated.
Have you read it?
I'll
I
read
have,
it.
yeah.
You've read 50
I've read it,
Shades
yeah.
of Grey?
You read it?
Yeah.
In one night?
No.
What, did you buy it?
No, I got given it.
By who?
Actually, one of my mates actually read it.
This is getting weirder.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Did you go to the movie with him?
I was learning hugely.
Ben?
You went and bought some... Did you buy some handcuffs?
Ben, the player sitting beside you.
Underrated.
Okay, Taylor?
Underrated.
Lovely. And Mick Moldhouse's top 25 list. Very controversial during the week.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Overrated. All right. Well done, boys. Taylor and Ben. Overrated, underrated. Very nice working there. Short break here on the Footy Show. We'll see you soon.
Next week on your home of footy, the Mighty Nine Network, at the very friendly time of 10 o'clock Monday, we welcome back Gary Lyon to the hosting chair, sharing the mantle with Matthew Lloyd, Caroline Wilson, Footy Classified. Strap yourself in Monday night. It's going to be on for young and old, Beck.
And we are on, this is a very special announcement, we are on next week, the Footy Show, not on Thursday, Wednesday at 8:30 next week, so make sure you remember that. We need to thank our second panel tonight. They have done a brilliant job. Taylor Adams and Ben Brown. Put your hands together.